Hi friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another speed build. So for today's video, I'm sharing a build that I will actually be using in my own gameplay for the Not So Berry challenge that I play every single week over on Twitch. It has been such a huge part of just like my weekly gameplay and things that I do every single week, and it's just been such a fun series. And I can't believe it, but I am close to starting the green generation, which is actually Gen 9 if I'm not mistaken. So after that we just have blue, which is Gen 10, and then that's it. That's the end of the Not So Berry challenge, which is wild. I cannot believe it's coming to an end so soon, but not yet. I still have 2 generations to play through. I am currently playing Gen 8, yes, Gen 8, which is the peach generation. And so the heir of the green generation, this is all starting to become a little bit confusing, but the generation that's coming up next, his name is Oliver. He is the heir. His name is Oliver because, you know, green, olive, Oliver, cute name. Oliver is his name. So that's Oliver, and he is going to be the heir for the green generation, and he is going to be living in this little house that we are currently working on. And I had so much fun with this one. It is going to be a really cute, like, Craftsman inspired home here in the world of Gibby Point, actually, which is the world that came with the latest Adventure Awaits expansion pack. I haven't really done any residential builds for this world yet. I've just been building for like getaways, custom venues, those types of things for this world in particular, but it's actually such a cute world for residential lots too. I think I'm gonna have a lot of fun actually doing gameplay here with a sim or like a family that actually lives here. At least I hope so. It's just really fun for family gameplay because there are a lot of like playground thingies around, and it's just like, I feel like there's a lot to explore here in this world. So I'm kind of excited to start gameplay here in Gibby Point. It won't happen for a little bit. Oliver is currently still a teenager. He is going to be aging up into a young adult soon though, I think in like 1 week in sim game time, you know? So I think it's like a week away from his birthday, and then he'll become a young adult. And then I think we're going to kind of immediately just move him into this house. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how we go. But like I said, in case you're confused or in case you're interested, I do play the Not So Berry challenge over on Twitch, so it's not a YouTube series. I do upload all my VODs to my second channel, which is more Simmary, and I do have a playlist there for the Not So Berry challenge. So if you're interested in watching all these episodes, then you definitely can. They are unedited stream VODs, so they're over 3 hours long each. And I think I have up to 93 episodes currently. So, you know, there's a lot of Not So Berry content in case you're interested. But yeah, I've been having so much fun with this challenge, and I just love sharing the builds that I'm doing for them here over on YouTube, obviously, as well. The Not So Berry builds just require a different, like, form of creativity, I guess, since you're really focusing on one specific color. In case you're unsure what the Not So Berry challenge is, it is basically just a 10 generation legacy challenge where each generation is based on a specific color. And you can obviously, as the player, you can just kind of do with that whatever you want. You can go crazy and literally make your entire sim green. If you're on the green gen, like including their hair, their skin tone, their eyes, whatever, you can go crazy like that. You can create their home and make it entirely green, where you're literally only allowed to use items that are literally green, so you can just make it as challenging as you want. For me personally, I like to kind of find a middle ground there where, yes, I am focusing both the house but also the sim on that specific color. Like, I'm focusing on that specific color and basing them off of that color, but I do mix and match and kind of keep it, I guess, realistic in a sense where it still fits my cozy family gameplay aesthetic, if you know what I mean. So I kind of try to find a middle ground there. And usually what I do for these builds in particular is I will focus on the main color that is, you know, the color for the gen we're building for, but then I'll usually pick one main color to kind of combine it with. And then I'll basically just fill it out with like neutrals, like wood tones, but maybe also some neutrals, just beige, black, white, like those types of things, obviously, to just kind of combine it. But for this one in particular, we're obviously doing green, and then the secondary color, I guess you could say I chose for this one is orange. You can probably already tell by the exterior. For the exterior, it's mainly orange in the wood tones. So we're doing green and then orange wood tones. I'm using a lot of seasons for this build in particular. It is a very cutesy, you can probably already tell, but it's going to be like a very cutesy little craftsman home that color scheme wise, I guess, is very based on autumn. I took the screenshots for the thumbnail and all that kind of stuff for this house in autumn as well. And like the colorful trees, the oranges, the reds, the yellows in this world, like it blends so nicely. Like it looks so good with the colors that I chose for the exterior of this house. And obviously I kind of continued those colors for the interior as well, because I also want the interior for this build to be based on the color green. And then I essentially just continued these orangey wood tones that I'm using for the exterior as well. I'm really focusing mostly on stuff from seasons for the exterior of this build because it's just so good and it's so perfect for craftsman homes. I haven't done a craftsman home in quite some time, and it was just really fun to revisit this style. I was working off of a really cute reference picture or like sketch of a house that I found on Pinterest that just immediately sparked inspiration for me that I thought was so cute, and I just knew that I wanted to build it. And I wasn't sure if a craftsman type home was gonna look cute in Gibby Point, but I also was very much set on playing the green generation in Gibby Point because it is the newest world. I haven't really done that much gameplay here aside from the occasional like getaway kind of thing, but nothing residential or anything. So I really want to focus on this world and see what it's like what the experience is like to actually have your sim live here and interact with the world on a daily basis. So I was kind of excited for that, and I was really set on doing that. So I was like, you know what, let's give it a go. Let's see if we can make a craftsman home look good in Gibby Point. And what do you know, it actually works pretty nicely. And for some reason, I wasn't really expecting that because a lot of the houses that we see around in this world are obviously based on kind of like cabin style houses, because that's essentially, you know, the style that came with this pack when it comes to building. And the cabin style is really cute, but I feel like the craftsman style is in ways not that different from the cabin style, if that makes any sense. Like they're obviously different from each other, but I feel like they combine pretty nicely. So that was really fun to see. There's also some very modern looking builds in this world that are obviously very different from either cabins or craftsman homes. So that's different. But I mean, I guess that's realistic, you know, to just have different styles of houses in a neighborhood. I guess that kind of works out. So I was just kind of excited to see how well a craftsman home actually blends here into this world. Even though it is definitely a little bit more traditional looking, or, you know, it's very seasons based, and so it has this like very distinct like style to it, if that makes any sense. I don't know, but again, long story short, I feel like it blends in pretty nicely. I also really like this lot. It is a 30 by 20 lot. It's called the Fletcher's Getaway or Fletcher's Cabin or something like that. It's really small for me. I can't read, but it says the name for the lot obviously in the top left-hand corner. So that's where you can see it. I think it's Fletcher's Cottage, maybe, now that I'm thinking about it. So yeah, that's the lot. I think it's really cute. I haven't used this lot for building before, so this is actually the very first time I'm building here. I think by default there is a starter home here on this lot that I think is really cute. So I felt really bad bulldozing that. But yeah, obviously I wanted to build a house here myself as well. So that's what I ended up doing. I don't know. I just really like how this house looks. I am very much fully embracing the autumnal vibes for this one as well with the color scheme alone. It's still autumn. It is literally storming outside right now where I live. It is so dark, and actually our clocks changed. I'm in Europe, I'm in the Netherlands, and our clocks here already changed. So it definitely feels like autumn and like going into winter time already. I can't lie, I'm really excited about it. Sometimes I feel like I have reversed seasonal depression in a way where I thrive in the fall and winter, and then when summer rolls around, I'm like, ugh, I hate it here. I don't know. I feel like for a lot of people, it's the other way around. I don't know. I thrive in this season. I think it's so cozy. Obviously, the darkness at some point will get to me, but it doesn't really hit until after Christmas, I feel. So, yeah, I feel like I always have to like plan some sort of trip or something to look forward to in, say, January, February, because that's when I'm like, okay, it's so dark still. Can we please just like add a little bit of sunlight to the everyday life? Like that would be nice. But up until that point, I'm like, I love this. I love the rainy weather. I love the fall, the winter, the cold. You know, it's just so cozy. And I feel like a lot of us actually might be the same. Let me know in the comments down below, which season do you thrive? For me, it's definitely fall. Winter up until Christmas, you know, but I feel like that's the case for most of us, where it's like Christmas is cozy. Christmas is fairy lights and Christmas cookies and Christmas tree and coziness, you know. Obviously that doesn't go for everyone. And I also know that part of the world it's actually spring and summer right now. So, you know, I'm aware of that, but still. So yeah, that's just me, but that's just a little bit of rambling. You can see this house come together. I was working on the landscaping. I didn't actually have that much space left over on this lot for a backyard. So what I decided to do is I just fenced in the remaining area that I had left over basically on this lot. And I turned it into two kind of side yards, if you will, that are connected. We do have like a back porch with a staircase on either end, leading you to either end of, you know, the side yard, if you will. I think it looks really cute. And I just did a little bit of landscaping around the house, around the foundation. I placed a few trees to kind of blend it into the environment a little bit better. But other than that, the landscaping is not too crazy because, again, I just didn't have that much space left over on this lot. I was also really excited to place this slide. The slide is so good looking. I just really love how it looks a little bit older and used, and there's just like some wear and tear on it. I think it looks awesome. So I had to place it in the side yard there. And, you know, like I said, the yard is not that big, so I didn't really have more space for more playground equipment. This is basically it, but we do have a slide here, which is, I think, going to be so fun for when Oliver actually has a kid. So yeah, for the green generation, I can tell you a little bit about this sim and what their future potentially holds. Then again, my gameplay, whenever I'm playing Not So Berry, for some reason it loves to throw chaos in my face and completely change around the plans that I have for my Sims all the time. Like, literally, I don't know what it is with this game, but I kind of feel like it knows when I'm playing Not So Berry, and the chaos becomes a little bit extra for some reason. But it's really fun, I can't lie. Like, it's definitely challenging in some ways for me to like change up the storylines or the ideas that I had for their respective lives, you know. I have to just kind of take that and like change it up every once in a while. But, you know, we do have a solid idea of what this green generation, what Oliver is going to be up to. So according to the rules of the Not So Berry, which I do follow, I mean, I take it with a grain of salt every now and then because I also want to tell my own story, you know, so I definitely do follow the rules and I follow the storylines for these specific Sims, their interests, their careers, and all that kind of stuff. But also sometimes I like change things around a little bit to fit my storyline. But yeah, Oliver is going to be living in this house. He is currently a teenager, and when he grows up, he is going to have the computer whiz aspiration, and he's going to be in the tech career as well. I actually just quickly looked up the rules for the Not So Berry challenge, so I can just kind of read to you what's written down for Gen 9. So it says, you were caught hacking by a major tech company that then offered you a position in their firm. That's actually so funny. So he is going to be a tech guru. You're dedicated to your work, but that doesn't stop you from going out and having a good time. You're the kind of person that will be at a party at 3 a.m. and then work at 6. So he is a little bit of a nerdy type person. He loves computers. He's a computer whiz. all that kind of stuff. But at the same time, he's also pretty popular. So for my personal gameplay, currently he just has a lot of friends in high school. He is very active over on Social Bunny to keep up with everybody as well. So yeah, he has a lot of friends. He's a very popular guy that loves to hang out with his friends, that goes to prom, you know, all those types of things. He has a bunch of friends. Like his social life is, you know, it's a lot actually. And his traits are squeamish, geek, and cheerful. So I feel like that's a really interesting combination of traits to have. His aspiration is computer whiz, his career is tech guru, like I said. And then some additional rules are that he has to master the mixology, video gaming, and programming skills, which I think is really fun. Mixology is really fun because his mom is actually also pretty good at mixology. So I feel like it's kind of fun that maybe to tell the story where maybe she like taught him that and he really liked it and he likes to make drinks for his friends and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's actually kind of fun. That being said, I didn't actually place a bar in this house because the house turned out to be pretty small. Like it's actually kind of small. I love it. I really hope it's not going to be too small for gameplay. I think the way I decorated it, it still makes sense and we have more than enough space for everything, but I didn't have space for a bar, so we're gonna have to go out to bars and all that kind of stuff to actually work on the mixology, or maybe we could get like a glow bar or something, but I'm not exactly sure. He has to master the tech guru career and complete the computer whiz aspiration, and he must accept every invitation to parties / outings with his friends. So I feel like that's going to be very interesting and really fun to play through. He just has a lot going on at all times, and he has to have at least 5 good friends and 5 enemies. So the enemy part I haven't really worked on yet. I don't know. I feel like that's always kind of scary. Like it's really fun to do that side of gameplay too, but it's just so not in my nature that sometimes I'm like, I feel bad. I feel bad being mean to people or to have my Sims being mean to other Sims. Like I just feel bad doing that. So I haven't really thought out the storyline why he is going to end up with 5 enemies, because it's quite a lot of enemies. There's quite a lot of people that dislike him. So I'm really going to have to try and see if I can think of sort of like a storyline to tie that all together, because currently he just has friends. Everybody loves him. He's popular. He has a bunch of friends. You know, there's nothing going on in that regard that's negative. So I don't know. We're going to have to kind of see how that goes. But yeah, those are basically the rules for Gen 9. And Oliver currently is in high school. He is a teenager still, but he is dating a girl named Katrina. She is really, really cute. I love that girl. She is she loves the goth style, so she has like really cool like grunge like goth inspired outfits that I think are so cool. I actually gave her a makeover, so not to toot my own horn or anything, but you know, I just think she looks really awesome. So their relationship is actually going really, really well. She just went through a loss in her family and Oliver was really there for her and they really talked it over, and their relationship is very mature in that sense. So I don't know, I feel like maybe that could potentially last. Like maybe they are actually going to stay together, potentially get married. I'm not exactly sure. I could totally see that though. So I was kind of decorating this house with the both of them in mind, and then they're obviously going to have at least 1 kid because we do need a blue gen heir. But I am kind of thinking 2 kids for Oliver, and then potentially 2 kids with his girlfriend, potential future spouse, Katrina. Or maybe that doesn't end up working out. Maybe I could also see him adopt kids. I think that would be really fun also. But for some reason, I don't know, I just have a really good feeling about this relationship with Katrina, and that maybe they will end up being high school sweethearts that, you know, last for the rest of their lives. That would be so beautiful, and I would really love to tell that story. So yeah, who knows? We could totally do that, but honestly, we're just gonna have to wait and see. With my luck and the kind of chaos my game throws at me, she is gonna like get struck by lightning and like die at some point or something, you know? So, you know, we just don't know what the future holds. We'll have to wait and see. But that's kind of what I have in mind. And yeah, so they're gonna be living in this house. Katrina, I have to see if I can remember what her aspiration is. I'm not actually sure what her aspiration is. I think one of her traits though is that she's a maker. So maybe we could like do some eco lifestyle gameplay with her if we do end up with her in this house as well. Like I could maybe add like the candle making station in the backyard or something. I did decorate the second bedroom, or like the guest bedroom. I decorated that as well, a guest bedroom, and then also a crafts room. I thought it'd be cute to do some nifty knitting stuff in there. So I could totally see her being into crafts and like knitting and stuff as well. I also placed like the paper crafts up there because Oliver is actually very much into paper crafts. He has a little sister, Wanda, and she has the paper craft stuff in her bedroom, but Oliver is always in his little sister's bedroom doing like the paper craft stuff for some reason. He loves it. So I thought I would add some in the upstairs guest bedroom as well, and just so that he could do his paper crafts if he wants to. It's actually so cute. I love the paper crafts skill from the Adventure Awaits pack. I think it's really fun, and the stuff that they can make with it, like there's so much stuff that they can make. There's so many different things as you like advance in the skill. Like there's so many fun things that you can unlock for your Sims to make. It's honestly the cutest thing ever. So I just really like having my Sims do like the paper mache and everything and collect all the different little things that you can make. It's just so wholesome. So yeah, that's kind of what I have in mind. Here you can see I'm totally talking over me decorating the house, but I guess you can totally see that I'm going with green. There's a lot of green going on in this house, but then I'm definitely combining it with oranges and yellows. I guess the entire color scheme for this house is just super autumnal. And then I'm just combining it with some neutrals like beiges and everything, but everything is very warm toned in here. And some things are definitely a bit mismatched, but that's kind of the challenge in decorating for the Not So Berry challenge, I guess, because you do really have to focus and like build around that one specific color. So there's so much green in this house. There's obviously way more green in this house than I would normally do for any one specific color, you know, but still I feel like this really came out nicely. I love how it matches with the orangey wood tones that I chose, and it was very surprising to see how many items we have in that one orangey wood tone that kind of matches across so many different packs and across base game also. It's not always perfect, but I don't really want it to be because I feel like it looks more realistic that way when the wood tones are not a perfect match, but like an almost perfect match, you know? I just thought that that was really fun. And then this bedroom, I actually didn't even talk about this yet, but the house itself has 3 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms, one of them being a hall bathroom here downstairs. And then we have the main bedroom here downstairs as well. I think, at least at first, this is the bedroom that Oliver and his potential girlfriend, or his now girlfriend, potential future spouse, might share. I think this is going to be their bedroom, at least at first. And then we have 2 bedrooms with a Jack and Jill in the middle upstairs too, which one of them I obviously turned into a guest bedroom slash crafts room, like I mentioned. And then the other one, I actually already decorated that for a baby, which is a little soon, but I wanted to make like a blue nursery because the next generation is obviously going to be blue. So it's inevitable that we'll have a blue gen baby at some point. So I just really wanted to include a blue nursery in this house as well. I feel like that's going to be really functional if you want to download this house yourself for your green gen of Not So Berry. Then it's nice to just have a nursery for the blue gen sort of already included. So I decided to do that, but here we have the downstairs bedroom. Obviously, I love how that one came together. It's a little bit more of a mismatch, you know, mix of things than for the rest of the house, I want to say, but I do think it still turned out really cute. I was set on using that new bed from Adventure Awaits, so I was just kind of working around that. It doesn't really match with the style of the wallpaper from the Grange Mudroom kit, but I just felt like it was a fun combination of things that don't really go together, but it still looks cute in a way, you know? So that was kind of the middle ground that I was looking for there. And then we have moved on to the second floor. So we have world's tiniest landing with just, I just had space for a small dresser over there, so that's what I did. And then I started by decorating this Jack and Jill because I was kind of worried about the shape and like the size of this with the 2 doors and everything, and if I would still have enough space for a shower tub combo and all that stuff. But it turned out perfectly fine. So I really like that Jack and Jill actually. It's a little bit of a different shape and layout than I would normally go for my bathrooms, but that's what made it fun. And then here, this first room, I went for a lighter green color, like a lighter green spin on the green for this specific house, if that makes any sense. So yeah, this one's a little lighter, and I wasn't really sure what to do with this room at first because we really don't need it for anything right now. So someone in chat, when I was building this over on stream, someone suggested we could just do like an extra bedroom or a crafts room. And then I was like, oh, we could do both. This room is pretty big, so we could just do both. And maybe even at some point, if we need a little bit more space in the house or what have you, we can always move the main bedroom up into this room, you know, maybe move some stuff around potentially. It's just nice to have some options when it comes to that sort of stuff. And who knows, maybe we'll end up with like triplets in this house or in this family, because like I said, chaos in my game, it wouldn't be the first time. Maybe we'll end up with triplets and then some, so who honestly knows. And then we also decided that this family, or at least Oliver, we could really see him with a large dog. So I did place in some stuff for a dog as well, but I feel like dogs versus cats, like dogs in this game, they don't really need as much stuff. I didn't have space for a large dog bed or anything, so there's no dog bed included in this house, but I feel like the dog can just sleep on the rug or on the couch or on a chair somewhere. I feel like they do that anyway, so, you know, it's fine. So I did include stuff for a dog. We have some dog toys outside and all that stuff, and a food bowl in the kitchen, obviously, as well. So yeah, I could totally see Oliver have a larger dog. I'm excited to kind of go through that gameplay and see if we can adopt a cute one. We've had pets for every single generation of my Not So Berry challenge. It's a given. It's basically a rule at this point that each generation has to have a pet. So yeah, currently the Peach generation actually has a cat. We had 2 cats. The first one was called Icky Vicky, because with the gen before that, we were kind of going with a Fairly Odd Parents theme with Wanda, Cosmo, all that kind of stuff. And then we had a cat named Icky Vicky. She unfortunately passed away, but then we had another cat called Geppetto, which was really cute. So Geppetto is still alive, and he's still thriving. But for this generation, I think I could see Oliver have a dog, and the house is not that big, so it's gonna be like nice and cozy with a big dog in the family too. But I just think it's gonna be so cute. Like he can take it out for jogs and just for walks around the neighborhood here in Gibby Point. I think that's gonna be so cozy. So I'm not sure what dog we're gonna go with, but I always go with whatever there's available at the moment for adoption. So I always pick one from there. I kind of like that versus adding through CAS, which that's also fun if you have like a very specific dog in mind for the family. But for this one, I just like to go with whatever dogs are up for adoption at the moment. It's just really fun to play through, I feel. So yeah, I'm just placing the final few things here in the backyard. I wanted there to be a cute space to sit with a space heater, which I think is really fun. We have some flower boxes for like gardening and all that. And then I thought it'd be cute to add a little bonfire in as well. So I decided to do that. We have a picnic table and then just an outdoor dining table and all that stuff. But for the rest, that's basically it. So let's jump into the game and I'll show you the house in real time. So here we have the house in the game, and this is what it looks like in the fall. Just look at the trees and those gorgeous colors. I don't know. I just feel like this house belongs in eternal fall. The colors just look amazing this way. I mean, it looks good in the other seasons too. I feel like in the snow it would be cute, but it definitely thrives in the fall, just like me. So out front, we just have a little bit of landscaping. It is a little bit overgrown. I wanted it to look sort of like an older house, so that's what I tried to do. I parked a green bicycle. There's a mailbox, a trash bin, and then over on this side is where we have part of the yard. So obviously I placed a slide. I think that's going to be so fun. There's some activities over here as well, and then in the back we have the really tiny back porch with a dining table, another bin, and some dog toys. And on the other side here, we have some seating. I think this turned out really cute. I'm just trying to show that we have a tree here, but it just keeps disappearing on me. But yeah, there is a seating area here with a space heater as well, which I think is really fun. And then some extra planters over here on the side. Then out front here, we have the cutest front porch, if you ask me, with 2 green rocking chairs. It was just too perfect not to place them, so I did that. Also, this welcome mat that's green, and and then with the little gnomes. I just feel like it's perfect, so I had to go for it. And then here we have the house. As you can see, I went for a very closed off floor plan because I was really feeling those cozy, closed off, smaller rooms, that kind of vibe for this house. When you first walk in, we just have an entryway where I used some built-ins from the Grange Mudroom kit. This orange color I feel like is so pretty, and it works so well with this color wallpaper. This one's from Businesses and Hobbies, and I just think it looks really good here. So yeah, that was a fun combination of colors to use. And then here over on the left is where we have a small office for Oliver. He is obviously in the tech guru career, so I wanted to give him a nice office where he could sit and do his programming and all that kind of stuff. So that's right here. There's also a small reading nook over here with some decorations. But going back into the hallway and then over here is where we have the living room. I feel like this one's more orange than it is green almost, but I just really like it. It's so cozy. This fireplace from Adventure Awaits is chef's kiss. It is so beautiful and it looks so good in this house. So I kind of built the living room around that. There's a TV in the corner here as well because Oliver does love his games. There is another rocking chair here in the corner. We have some really cute built-in bookcases, and then over here is a hall bathroom. Moving over to the other side of the house, this is where I placed that gorgeous archway from Growing Together. I was really excited to have a chance to use this. There's only one size, like one version of this, no smaller ones. So yeah, I can't always use it, but it was fun to use it here. And then in here we have the kitchen and dining. The kitchen itself is fairly simple. I cluttered it up though to make it really look lived in and all that. So yeah, we just have all your kitchen stuff in here and a color for the counters that I would normally never go for, but since this is the greenhouse, I felt like I kind of had to, so I went for it anyway, and I think it blends in really nicely. I used the matching dining table in here and then these really cute chairs with the white cushions to brighten it up a little bit. And then in the corner here we have the back door, and I also placed a coffee nook. Now in my speed build, I actually cluttered up this whole thing with little mugs and all that kind of stuff, but unfortunately that made it so that the coffee machine wasn't functional, which was so upsetting. So I deleted all the clutter out of there, and now at least the coffee maker is functional. Moving on to the other side of the house, this is where we have a hallway with a staircase, obviously, and off of this hallway is the main bedroom. This one I feel like is the most mismatched room of the house, but I kind of just took that and ran with it. So we have this bed that really doesn't go with this wallpaper in any way, and then also this chair that's a different color, a different pattern, but somehow I feel like it just works. It just looks super cozy. So I did it anyway, and then this ottoman here by the window is so different as well from anything else in this room. But I don't know, there's something about this room. I just love the clashing patterns, so I just ran with it. Going upstairs, we have a really tiny landing that is open to the hallway below. By the way, I love that yellow standing lamp that I used in the corner. Another beautiful autumnal color, I feel. And then up here we have two rooms with a Jack and Jill in the middle. So the first one over here is the extra bedroom slash crafts room, if you will. So there's just a double bed in here, some built-in storage again on the other side, and then some crafting stuff over here against this wall. A small Jack and Jill in here with a shower tub combo and all that, which is going to be so useful once these Sims actually have a baby. And then the second room up here is the blue nursery. So this is a very different vibe from the rest of the house, which, you know, works for a not so berry house because every generation's vibe is just very different from the previous one. So I just embraced that and I went for a blue and white, a slightly more like almost nautical color scheme in a way. For this bedroom, I still wanted to make it cozy, obviously. This is quite a large nursery. I didn't make it super detailed. It's more basic, but I really like how it looks. I love this area here with the rocking chair and the blarfy and the mural, or like the decal. There is some storage here and then a changing table as well. But that is it for this house. So this not so berry green home is up on the gallery. However, my gallery seems to be very glitched where people can't seem to find my gallery page like my library. So you can only find my builds by actually looking for the title. So this one's called Not So Berry Green Home. So if you look for that title on the gallery, you should be able to find it. Hopefully that glitch fixes itself, or hopefully I am able to fix that glitch within my own game. It's really strange. But yeah, if you want to download this house, just search for it by searching for the title on the gallery. This house was built on a 30 by 20 on the Fletcher's Cottage lot in Gibby Point. So if you want to place it in your game, then that's where it goes. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and leave a comment down below if you want to. You can find me over on Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok if you like. My username over there is Simmary Sims. I just want to say thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!